Do we care if a fighter is a good guy or not? Think about that for a moment. Leave me a comment. I ask you for comments sometimes, but when I actually take the time, I read everything that's said. When I ask you for a comment, it's more important though. Because I do want an answer to the question. I want to get a feel for it. A good feel. And I very seldomly put a poll up. Because I feel as though when I ask you and require you to support your statement, you think about it more. I don't think I'll go through this and see a single yes. I don't think I'll see a single no. I think I'll see a yes, comma, and a whole bunch of sentences. I think I'll see a no, comma, and a whole bunch of sentences. I bring this to you because it's come out twice just today. Israel Adesanya was weighing in on Robert Whittaker and said he's not a good guy. George Masvidal was weighing in on Colby Covington and he said he's not a good guy. And I'm just wondering, do you care? Does it matter? I remember when Jon Jones couldn't sell tickets. Everybody recognized him as a damn good fighter. Then eventually he got that world title belt put around his waist. Youngest of all time. We all recognized he was a good fighter, but he wanted you to also think he was a good person. It was just important to Jon. He was young. He didn't understand the business. This is what he wanted to do. His mother was watching. A lot of things that would lead you down that road, but it was really important to Jon. And guys that knew him said, man, stop the act. Now, Jon never needs to stop the act. He can go any direction he wants. He can be heel or face. He can go any way that he wants, but there was a pushback, and eventually the gag was up. He gets caught snorting blow. Jon goes to a press conference with the true good guy of the sport, Daniel Cormier. Whole live audience, it was packed. And Daniel gives Jon a hard time for snorting coke. Jon has never broken character of John 3:16 and talking about Proverbs. The first time ever Jon says, I did coke and still kicked your ass, and that arena went through the roof. And I remember Jon's face. Nobody was more surprised. Jon did not want to let that guard down. He was clinging to this cloak that he felt protected him. It was the first time he put it down, and you should have seen Jon's face. Oh my God, did he get a lesson? Did he ever get an education right there in that moment? And I remember the people that were detractors to Jon. And the detractors were trying to expose him. And they were telling, I just want him to come out. I just want him to be himself. I remember as a Jon foe thinking, no, please don't. Because I know how badly the audience wants a heel. If you can be a heel and a champion, you are now a cool bad guy. That doesn't happen. That happened for The Rock. That happened for Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is the ultimate place to get from a marketing and box office standpoint to have a cool heel. Jon Jones gets to be cool because he's champion of the world. He's got that box checked, but he's not a heel yet. And I remember when people were trying to bring him down, they were acting as, hey, just be honest with the audience. They were his detractors. They wanted to hurt him. I was one of those. I want him to stay right where he's at because I knew how helpful it would be. And I just remember that press conference because, whoa. And Jon started cursing at. Jon had never cursed at a press conference. He starts cursing after that. And he starts talking, and all of a sudden, whole different life, and one where he can finally rest and relax and doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Here it is. So I'm just asking, I use Jon, not to embarrass Jon at all. That's public knowledge. I use Jon to remind you before you say, yes, it matters to me. It matters to me, and he'd better be a good guy. Or you say, no. No, it doesn't, because that's not what this is about. I've been in cage fighting since 1997. I know a lot of really good guys for MMA, okay? But I got to put that, I have to put the for MMA. I know some really good guys. I don't know that in any other walk of life I could say that, and myself would be included. It's just not what finds its way to this. Guys that find their way here have a very tough story. Most of them bear it, keep it to themselves. Some of them come out and offer it, but when they offer it, and the audience is like, oh, I'm going to get behind this guy. Look at the plight that he had. All the rest of us are looking around going, I could bury that story 5 times over. I just want to keep it private. This attracts the certain things had to happen to people for them to go into the sport. I'll leave it at that. But it's unanimous and it's across the board. So do you care if it's a good guy? And what does it have to do with anything? Why would you want the audience to know that's not a good guy? Why? You want to be cheered and you want them to boo him? Okay, fine, but why? I mean, does that help? Does that help with the story? Does it help to bring in revenue? Does it help to bring attention? Does it help to move popcorn, cups of beer, and t-shirts? No. It's for the announcement with the guy in the shark suit before he gets the hell out of the octagon so we can get down to fighting. You want the crowd to cheer for him and you want him to boo him? Why? I'm asking. You give a goddamn if the crowd knows this or that about what's it matter? We're going to fight under the unified rules and agreed upon date and agreed upon weight class. What difference does it make? And perhaps it does. Perhaps old Chael is missing something. Perhaps it matters tremendously because that's who you're going to support and that's who you're going to get behind. And that support is going to lead to motivation, and that motivation is going to lead to hard work, and that hard work is going to lead to goal setting, and that goal setting is going to lead to success. I have a hand in his career, and I will not give it to somebody unless he's a good guy. He's in a cage fight on Saturday night for the applause of a drunken audience and a paycheck. Like, do we really need to discuss whether or not it's a good guy? Aren't we beyond that at this point? Don't we have a little bit better understanding that I'm probably going to run into him to the tavern at 2 a.m. than I am in the pew at 9? Are we a little more responsible about that? I just don't know if they've got to offer an apology. I don't know. I'm asking you guys. What do you think about that? Do you care when you go to watch a fight and you've got to choose who to cheer for? Do you measure something to do with morality? Maybe you do. I'm just asking. Or are you better off knowing everybody's struggling with something? This guy's got something, that's his business, but I got my somethings too, and that's my business. And that's what makes us a society. Everybody you meet, people, don't forget this, everybody you meet and everybody you see is fighting something. That's why it's always important in a society to be nice.